Are you waiting for someone who's never coming back, too? The girl to the CEO at the TR. The little girl couldn't have been older than 8. She sat alone on a weathered bench at the train station, clutching a faded stuffed rabbit while every arriving train made her hopeful eyes search the crowd one more time. Across the platform sat a billionaire CEO who had built an empire admired by millions, yet he looked just as lost. Then, with innocent honesty only a child could possess, she looked at him and quietly asked, "Are you waiting for someone who's never coming back, too?" In that single heartbreaking moment, the successful businessman realized a stranger had just spoken the truth he had spent 5 years trying to hide from the entire world. If you believe in kindness, forgiveness, hope, and second chances, please like this video, leave a meaningful comment, share it with someone who needs encouragement today, and subscribe to our channel so our community can continue sharing emotional stories that remind us no heart is ever beyond healing. The man's name was Callen Mercer, founder and chief executive of one of the country's largest technology companies. Newspapers described him as brilliant, disciplined, and unstoppable. Investors admired his confidence. Employees respected his fairness. Yet none of them knew why, every Friday afternoon, he quietly visited the same old train station instead of attending executive dinners or business conferences. 5 years earlier, his wife, Meredith, had passed away after a sudden illness. During happier times they had often met at that very station after work, surprising each other with flowers or coffee before walking home together. After losing her, Callen continued returning every Friday, not because he expected her to appear, but because sitting there allowed him to feel close to the life they had once shared. That bright autumn afternoon, every train arrived exactly on schedule, filling the platform with travelers embracing loved ones before disappearing again. Amid the movement sat the small girl with the worn rabbit resting in her lap. Callen noticed she had been alone for nearly an hour. Concern slowly overcame hesitation. He approached carefully and asked whether she was waiting for family. The little girl introduced herself as Brielle Hawthorne. She explained her grandmother worked inside the nearby ticket office and had asked her to remain on the bench while finishing paperwork. Brielle smiled politely before studying Callen's face with remarkable curiosity. Children often notice sadness adults work hardest to conceal. After several quiet moments, she asked whether he was waiting for someone who was never coming back. The question stole his breath. No investor. No journalist. No close colleague had ever dared ask something so honest. Callen simply nodded. Brielle looked down at her stuffed rabbit before quietly admitting she understood. Her father had promised years earlier that he would return after taking a job overseas. He never did. At first she believed every arriving train might somehow bring him home. Eventually she realized some people leave without intending to return. Still, she visited the station whenever her grandmother worked because remembering hope somehow hurt less than pretending she had never loved him. Callen felt tears gathering despite years of carefully controlling every public emotion. For the first time since Meredith's passing, someone understood that grief isn't always about refusing to move forward. Sometimes it's about refusing to forget. Over the following weeks, Callen occasionally adjusted his schedule to arrive when Brielle visited her grandmother. Their conversations remained wonderfully simple. They discussed favorite books, school projects, birds nesting near the station roof, and dreams for the future. Slowly, something unexpected happened. Instead of speaking only about loss, they began noticing everything beautiful still surrounding them. The laughter of reunited families. Musicians entertaining travelers. Fresh flowers blooming beside the platform. Hope quietly returned through ordinary afternoons. One Friday Brielle introduced Callen to her grandmother, Eleanor Hawthorne. She explained how difficult life had become after Brielle's mother passed away during childbirth and her father disappeared several years later. Eleanor had raised her granddaughter alone while working long hours at the station. Although they rarely complained, financial challenges followed them constantly. Callen wanted to help immediately. But remembering his wife's compassion, he knew true kindness protects dignity. Instead of offering money, he quietly arranged scholarships through a charitable foundation his company supported. Brielle received educational opportunities without ever feeling like charity defined her future. Months passed. Brielle flourished at school. Her confidence grew. Meanwhile, Callan surprised his board of directors by announcing a new corporate initiative providing employment opportunities for grandparents raising grandchildren alone. He explained that families built through sacrifice deserved greater support. The program eventually helped hundreds of households across the country. Employees wondered what inspired such an unusual project. Only Callan knew its true beginning had been one innocent question asked at a train station. One sunny afternoon, Brielle invited Callan to attend her elementary school's career celebration. Standing before classmates, she proudly announced she wanted to become an engineer who designed safer train stations where every child and grandparent could feel welcome. Then she thanked a family friend who had taught her something more valuable than mathematics or business. She explained that courage means choosing to keep loving people even after experiencing heartbreaking loss. Callan quietly wiped away tears. He realized Meredith would have adored Brielle. Instead of clinging to painful memories alone, he had unknowingly honored his wife's legacy by allowing compassion to guide him toward someone else who needed hope. Years later, the old station underwent major renovations funded partly through Callan's charitable foundation. Comfortable waiting areas, children's reading corners, accessible entrances, and community gardens transformed the once-forgotten platform into one of the city's warmest public spaces. A small plaque near the entrance carried a simple message. Every journey matters because every person matters. No names appeared beneath the words. Recognition had never been the purpose. One bright spring afternoon, Callan and Brielle sat together on the same bench where they first met. Trains continued arriving and departing just as they always had. Life had moved forward. Loss had never completely disappeared. But neither had hope. Callan finally understood he wasn't returning to wait for someone who would never come back. He returned because that place had become where broken hearts discovered new reasons to keep living. Before we reach the end of this story, we'd love to hear from you. Have you ever met a complete stranger whose simple words changed your life forever? Leave a meaningful comment below because your experience may become the encouragement someone else desperately needs today. As warm afternoon sunlight stretched across the station platform, another train arrived carrying families eager to reunite. Brielle smiled as children ran into waiting arms, while Callan quietly looked toward the sky with gratitude instead of sorrow. He realized the people we lose never truly disappear when their love continues shaping the kindness we offer others. One little girl's innocent question had transformed a grieving CEO into a man who finally understood that healing doesn't mean forgetting those we miss. It means allowing their memory to inspire hope in someone else's life. Sometimes the most important person we meet isn't the one who changes our future with power or wealth, but the one who reminds us that even the deepest heartbreak can become the beginning of extraordinary compassion. If this story touched your heart, please like this video, leave a meaningful comment, share it with someone who needs hope today, and subscribe to our channel so you never miss another emotional journey. May we all remember that one kind conversation can become the train that carries another heart from grief toward hope. Ein Station.